My name is Amandine Crespy, and I'm a lecturer in political science and European studies at the Free University in Brussels, the ULB.
Okay, Amandine, thank you for joining us on the occasion of the summer school. We were very pleased to have you here, and this is a good opportunity for me to sort of pick your brains on some of the issues that you are currently working on. And my first sort of question for you is, how do you think the European financial crisis and the crisis in the Eurozone affected the direction of European integration and its future?
I think this crisis has revealed something very interesting about European integration, which is that there is no single direction of European integration, and there is no single project for the EU. I think in the past, European integration has often been described as a project going in one direction, and clearly what has been questioned with this crisis is that there is only one possible model, and through the very issue of monetary union and the Eurozone, what has been increasingly questioned is the one-size-fits-all type of policy. And we see that there is a very strong desire to have a genuine political debate and even conflicts and disagreements, but a debate about alternative projects for Europe.
Well, in light of that answer you just gave me, and following up on the first question, so how do you think the results from the European Parliament elections just a few weeks ago will affect the way that we think about Europe and European Union, but also the way that we perceive integration?
Well, I think this election has revealed a trend which has been present throughout the second half of the 1990s and the 2000s, which is the fact that a lot of people are starting having issues with the European integration process. Unfortunately, because the mainstream parties have not really been able to articulate these alternative projects for Europe, an increasing number of citizens feel today that far-right and nationalist parties and the return to the nation is the only possible alternative projects. Hence, the fact that a genuine political and conflictual political debate about Europe is really crucial. The situation we have now in the European Parliament is a stronger presence of Eurosceptic parties. It is very difficult to predict to what extent they will have an influence in terms of impeding or blocking the actual functioning of the European Parliament. In the past, what we know from past experiences is that these MEPs from Eurosceptic groups have not proved to be really engaged with European politics. They tend to have to commit more in national politics. They don't come to actually sit in Brussels very often. So I don't think that these groups will be able to impede in a major way the functioning of the European Parliament. But on the perception question, paradoxically, I think this election expresses a strong desire to change Europe. But paradoxically, we have now groups which will make it more difficult to change Europe, because they will argue for the preservation of the status quo in a lot of debates, and they will tend also to block any new initiative for new policies at the European level. So I'm not sure how this will play out, but potentially it makes it a little bit difficult to reform Europe unless there is a reaction of the main political groups, the Social Democrats and the Conservatives, to actually bring new initiatives underway, which will, for example, in the current situation, would mean, let's say, more investment to stimulate growth, for example.